Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, children. I believe you're safe at home. Today you're going to have a lesson for mathematics with Teacher Jacob, and we're going to have lesson 17. But we shall begin with the corrections for the previous lesson. Our lesson 16 had an activity which we want to correct first before we go to our next lesson. So if you did the work very well, the answers you're seeing must have been the ones you also got. So we're correct. Number 1A, the answer was supposed to be 195 square centimeters. Part B, 132 square centimeters. Part C, 12 centimeters. 2A, Roman 1, 10 meters. Roman 2, 9 meters. Part B, 56 square meters. Part C, 34 square meters. 3A, 10 centimeters. B, 7 centimeters. And finally C, 84 square centimeters. If you got that, that's wonderful. That's excellent. Any mistake, you correct it. Let's now go to our lesson 17, where we are looking at finding the number of tiles. So finding the number of tiles that you can fit in a room. It can be the number of mats you can fit in a room. Anything can fit in a room. So where you are at home, some of you have rooms which are with tiles. In your living room, the bathroom, even in the toilet, there are tiles there. And most of these tiles are square in shape. So looking at what you have in a room, you can count how many tiles you have there in the living room where you are. Or elsewhere you have tiles at home. So let's look at this one here. Now, this one here on my left is a room with the measurements 120 centimeters and 80 centimeters. So the length of the room is 120 centimeters, its width is 80 centimeters. On my right here, I have the tile which we are going to fix. We want to put in our room here. I want to tile this room with these tiles here. But this tile measurements are 20 centimeters, meaning it's a square tile. So I want to see how many of them can we use for tiling this room. It's just an assumption. The measurement may not be very perfect, but we're just assuming that. So let's try to tile this room using our tiles. We can put the first tile there. I want to see how many can fit along the length of the room. The second tile is there. Third one, fourth, fifth, sixth. Oh, we are lucky. All that length of the room is now fitted with the tiles. If you count them very well, we are having 6 tiles there along the length. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tiles. Let's look at along the width of the room. How many tiles can we fix there? The first one is already there. That room part is already covered. Let's go now upwards. That's another tile. Another one is there. The width is already full now. So meaning that along our width, how many tiles have we fitted there? We have 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 tiles there. So let's now fill the whole room with the tiles everywhere. The next one there. Believe you're moving with me. Fill that one also completely. Let's go to the next one. Remember, we are fitting in our room square tiles, but the room is rectangular in shape. The whole room now is full of tiles. We want to find out how many tiles have we used. How many tiles have we used here? Before we look at that, we can look at this. Along our length, we got 6 tiles. The 6 tiles can be got by dividing the length of the room, which is 120 centimeters, divided by the side of the tile, which is 20 centimeters. And I believe you'll agree with me. 120 centimeters divided by 20 centimeters will give us 6. Which we got as a number of tiles along the length of the room. Now, along the width of the room, we have 80 centimeters the side of the tile still is 20 centimeters. So if we divide 80 centimeters, divide by 20 centimeters, what shall we get? We shall be able to get 4. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 tiles. So let's look at the total number of tiles in the whole room. We are counting. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. We have got 24 tiles that have covered our whole room. Now remember, when we divided 120 centimeters by 20, we got 6. 80 divided by 2, we got 4. If we simply multiply 6 times 4, will also give us 24 tiles, which have covered our room. So let's look at an example where we need to just calculate. Because in a classroom, we shall not be having tiles sliding like that. You can have the question for the classroom is there. How many mats of size B can be used to cover a floor A? You want to see how many mats of this type here size B can fit in our floor, which is B. If you are putting them there and them down on the floor and want to sit there. For example, our friends, the Muslims, when they are eating sometimes in a group, they can put mats down and sit. So let's look at this. We need to find how many mats can fit along the length of the floor. So let's look at along the length. How many mats can we put there and they fit exactly? So for us to do that, we need to have a formula, simple formula. It's going to be the length of the floor divided by the length of the mat, which will give us what we're having there. So this capital L here is standing for the length of the floor. Then the small l here is standing for the length of the mat. So when we substitute, the length of the floor is 8 meters. The length of the mat is 2 meters. So we're having 8 divided by 2, of course with the meters. So to get our answer, it's necessary for us to reduce. We need to cancel. And what is the common factor for 8 and 2? That is 2. So, 2 meters divided by 2 meters. What shall we get? We'll get 1. 8 meters divided by 2 meters. What shall we get? We're cancelling. Shall get 4. So, we are looking at how many mats can fit along our length. And we have clearly seen that we shall be able to put there 4 mats only. It will cover the length of the floor. Next, let's look at how many mats can fit along the width of the floor. So along the width of the floor. This way our formula was length divided by length, because we're looking at along the length. Now here it's along the width. What is it going to be? It's going to be the width of the floor divided by the width of the mat. This capital M is for the floor, and then the small m is for the mat. So when we substitute that correctly, we shall have 6 meters divided by 1.5 meters. So when we cancel our meters by meters, first we shall end up remaining with the 6 out of 1.5. So we need to proceed from there. Now this line here out of is the same as saying divide by. So now it is 6 meters divided by 15 out of 10 means that I have changed a decimal 1.5 to a common fraction, which is 15 out of 10. Now from there, for us to proceed, we need to change this division sign to multiplication. And it's going to affect our fraction here, which comes after. You have to get the reciprocal of 15 out of 10. And what is that? I believe you should have mentioned it. So we shall change now division to multiplication. Then we get the reciprocal of 15 out of 10, which is 10 out of 15. From there we can now cancel, can reduce. Let's look at 10 and 15. What's the common factor there? Right, we can divide by 5. So we divide 15 by 5. What shall we get? Shall we get 3? Divide 10 by 5. We shall get 2. Now look at 3 and 6. 3 and 6 are divisible by 3. That's right. So divide 3 by 3. What shall we get? We get 1. 6 divided by 3. We shall get 2. Now, for us to get our answer, we need to multiply 2 times 2 to give us the answer. That's 2 times 2. How many mats can I fit along the width of our room? The width of our floor, sorry. So, along the width of the floor, we have also got 4 mats. Along the length, we got 4 mats. Now, for us to get the number of mats, I said something when we were beginning. So, for us to get our answer now, we need to get the number of mats we can use. So, you look at this. Along the length, we got 4 mats. Along the width, we have 4 mats. So, if here we have 4 mats, up we got 4 mats, we can simply multiply to get total number of mats we're going to use. So we have the 4 times 4, which will give us 16 mats. To cover the whole floor there, we need the 16 mats to cover that floor. I believe you're full of that and you've understood. Let's look at another question. Our question is there. Someone has a rectangular floor measuring 7 meters by 5 meters. He wants to cover it using square tiles of side 20 centimeters. But how many square tiles does he need to tile the whole floor? The number of tiles cover the floor. So you can see clearly there, our floor is there, rectangular in shape, and the tiles, our tile is also there. For it, it's a square. But we want to find out how many tiles we can have fitted in our floor. Now, something to note here is the measurements of the floor are in meters, and the measurement of the tile is in centimeters. What do you think we should do there? There's some work to be done there. We cannot do the calculation when the units are different. So there's need to make the units the same. So we can either change centimeters to meters or change meters to centimeters. But looking at our work, you might find one is easier than the other. So I feel changing meters to centimeters will make our work a little bit easy. So let's first handle that. We need to change our meters to centimeters. So we're changing the measurements of the floor also to centimeters. So we need to know how many centimeters are just in 1 meter. Someone to remind us. I believe we all get that. So 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeters. So how about the 7 meters? 7 meters now. Our 7 meters should then have 7 meters equal to 7 times 100 centimeters. When we multiply that correctly, what shall we get? We shall be able to get 700 centimeters. So we need to do likewise to the width of the floor. So divide our part there very well. So we need to change the 5 meters also to centimeters. So 5 meters, remember already we said 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeters. So now 5 meters will be equal to 5 times 100 centimeters, which will give us 500 centimeters. So now there we have the same units. The tile is in centimeters, also the floor is in centimeters. So we need to find out now how many tiles can fit along our length, along the length of the floor. How many tiles shall we have there? Who remembers the formula we used? This time it may change a little bit. We need to look at, it's going to be the length of the floor divided by the side of the tile. The length of our floor is 700 centimeters divided by 20 centimeters. I think we are seeing that clearly. To simplify reducing this time, let's first look at, we have a zeros in numerator, zeros in denominator. We have centimeters and also centimeters. So let's first cancel that. That's 0 with the centimeters. Also cancel the 0 and the centimeters. Such that we remain with 70 divided by 2, which I feel we can easily reduce and get the answer. 70 and 2, the common factor there is 2. So 2 divided by 2, we shall get 1. Now 70 divided by 2, what shall we get? We're able to get 35. So along the length, we can fix there 35 tiles only. We can't go beyond that. After along the length, we need to look at how many tiles can we fix along the width of the floor. We're dividing our space there. So along the width, formula will be the width of the floor divided by the side of the tile. You're having that width of the floor divided by the side. When we substitute, our width now is 500 centimeters divided by the length of each side of the tile, which is 20 centimeters. So let's do here what we did here. Let's first cancel the 0 with the centimeters, 0 with the centimeters. So cancel 0 with the centimeters, 0 with the centimeters. That will give us 1, 1. Though I've not written it there, centimeters, 0 with the centimeters, giving us that. So when we do that, we are simplifying our number now. We now have 50, we are dividing by 2. What is the common factor? Our common factor there is 2. So 2 divided by 2, we get 1. If we divide 50 by 2, we shall get 25. So that means along our width of the floor, we can fix there 25 tiles. Now, to get to the number of tiles, remember, we are now going to look at the tiles along the length and the tiles along the width. And what we're going to do, we're going to multiply. Let's look at the number of tiles in total. We are going to multiply the 35 tiles times 25 tiles. And get to the number of tiles. So, I need someone to do side work there. You never know, I may not do the side work. So, can you work it out for me? 35 times 25, what shall we get? If you've done the side work very well, you've got that number of tiles. 875 tiles to cover the whole floor. Okay? Let's look at part B. This was question A. We look at the last question now. It said, if each tile is sold at 2,000 shillings, find the cost of all the tiles. I'm just assuming that if this person bought each tile at 2,000 shillings, 2,000 a tile. So, the cost of one tile is costing 2,000 shillings. We are going to get the amount of money for how many tiles? Part A, we got 875 tiles. For us to get the cost now, we have to multiply the cost of one tile times the number of tiles we are having. We need to multiply that. Now, I would like to rearrange this these numbers. This is a 4-digit number times a 3-digit number. But I can simplify this because this will take us long. How do I simplify it? I can transfer these 3 zeros to this number here, 875. Transfer those zeros there. So that I will only multiply by these 2. This is what I mean. I can transfer now the 3 zeros on 2, I transfer it to 875. So instead of having 875, now I have 875,000. I have also transferred the shillings from this 2 to this number. All that's the same. A trick of simplifying multiplication. So we are multiplying it now. We shall just multiply it by 2. See, I have rearranged that. I want to multiply it in a simple way. Let's multiply and you see. The cosine is there. Let's multiply. If I multiply 2 times 0, we shall get 0. 2 times that 0 again gives us 0. 2 times 0 again, 0 will give us 0. Then 2 times 5, we shall get 10. So we write 0, we regroup 1. Then 2 times 7, we shall get 14. Remember, we regrouped 1. So 14 plus 1 will give us 15. So we shall write 5 and regroup 1. So multiplying 2 times 8, we shall get 16. Then 16 plus 1, which we regrouped. 16 plus 1 is 17. So we've got that as 17. We no longer have any other number this side. That's why we have this here as just 17. We're not regrouping again. So that's what we're having. Do not forget your units. We're getting the amount of money. So now that's our equal sign. Now we have our answer there, which is 1,750,000 shillings. We can have it like that. If one put the commas, no problem, we can put the commas. But remember, we count from ones. We count 1, 2, 3. Then we shall put a comma there. Then we can also continue from there. That is 1, 2, 3. Then the comma comes between 1 and 7. Okay? I repeat, the amount of money for the 875 tiles is 1,750,000 shillings. Thank you so much for listening to me. You have got our answer there. I believe you have followed the question, how we approach these questions very well. Thank you so much.